Hello and welcome to another edition of the Sports Zone. I'm your host, Charles E. Hall II. Got my man, Shaka Bradley here, and we're getting ready to give you the rundown of all week long of the sports that took place right off the break, sir. Redskins in action yesterday. Had a tough loss to those Atlanta Falcons. It started off nip and tuck, Skins up 7-0, 7-3, then 7-6 in the game. A couple of fumble recoveries in the end zone. Kurt brings them back to tie the game up for the overtime, and then that big interception where Robert Alford runs at 59 yards for the interception. Your take on it?
This is perfect Kirk right here. This is the Kirk where you see, he does some good things where they brought you back at the end, at the 24 seconds, drive to get you the tying field goal, got you a touchdown earlier in the fourth to take the lead. But when you need him to make that final big play, turnover. This is what this is what I know Kirk to be. This is who he is.
Okay, but now, right, I'll be the first to say you got to make the plays when it counts. So we saw the highlight. We threw it off his back foot. Everyone that's in the media is saying the receiver failed and so forth, so they're putting the blame someone on the receiver. I could be wrong. That pass looked like it was going to get there. The receiver wasn't going to make it in time, I don't think. But I could be wrong. But as you watch that game, you say the play calling looks like it's questionable in terms of everyone's also saying that it was conservative. Now, with that being said, what's up with the run game? I mean, the Skins cannot run the ball at all right now. Matt Jones carried the ball 11 times. And this question's for sure. Alfred Morris only got 8 carries. Why is he only getting 8 carries in your opinion?
That's the mystery right there. But I'm going to tell you, I think it has something to do with that free agency coming up. He's up for his contract. This is supposed to be his contract year. The man is 1,000-yard back for the first 3 years, and now all of a sudden he can't get the touches.
I don't like that. I mean, that man's. I understand thunder and lightning, but yesterday they had a combined yardage of 51 yards rushing for the Skins. They could not get anything going on the ground. I mean, Kurt nip and tuck passes, dink and dunks, and so forth. And then granted, Matty Ice couldn't get that going either. The defense held true. They got 2 picks off Matty Ice. They kind of held Julio Jones in check. Julio Jones or Roddy White didn't get any catches for the first half. But Devontae Freeman shredded the Redskins defense for 153 yards on 23 carries. He shredded them. What's up with the Redskins D? I mean, they played like a bend but don't break style yesterday, but the running game was just too much. I mean, Atlanta.
Yeah, even though Freeman had a lot of strong runs, he had statistically a good game. It was 7-6 going into the fourth quarter or something like that.
I get that, but time of possession, the TOP.
Well, the time of possession wasn't that different. I mean, Atlanta's time of possession was a little bit, greater than the Redskins. But, I mean, the defense played, well enough to definitely win the game.
Yeah, that's a game the Skins could have won, that's for sure.
Especially against an undefeated team that's supposed to be so great. Kyle Shanahan, I'm sure he had a lot of motivation facing his old team that got rid of his pops.
Not just Kyle, you also had the receiver from Leonard Hankerson. They only held him to 1 catch. He's been killing all year, so that's a good thing for the Skins. The Skins D had 2 sacks, I believe. But it's still in the end, it comes down to making plays, and they did. The Skins didn't. That's just something that's going to be happening for whatever reason. That they got to figure that out. They got to figure that out against the big lights. Switching over right now. Fall, I love it in October. That's my favorite sports month. And right now, fall baseball is here. Hot off the press, we just watched in the press room Kansas City come back. They were down 6-2 in the 7th inning, and they put off a miraculous comeback in the 8th where they won. Basically, they won the game 9-6, but they went off 5 straight runs in that inning. That series is now tied 2-2. You got it's a quadruple header on Monday going on right now. The Blue Jays against Texas. That series is 2-1. Texas got their first win yesterday. Then you have the one series I'm looking forward to. St. Louis and Chicago is 1-1. And then you have Dodgers and Mets at 1-1. What, out of all those series, which one intrigues you the most? What is the one you want to see?
Well, because, the Cubs and St. Louis are supposed to be big rivals. That one has a little more
division rivals, that's true.
That's
old
the
school.
one that intrigues me the most. As a Nationals fan, I'm pulling for the Dodgers because, I'm still kind of disgusted that the Mets are in and we're not. So, but I'm really intrigued about that Cardinals.
Good point you bring up, because right now the hottest thing in baseball at the moment is the Chase Utley issue. If you don't know, Chase Utley ran into Ruben Tejada, and he's now out for he broken leg. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. But Utley, if you saw the play, he deliberately did that. He wasn't sliding proper, and he said he's going to appeal the 2 games. By appealing his 2 games, the appeal won't be heard tonight. He's going to play tonight. So, do you think Matt Harvey is going to beam him and throw a ball right at his head or something? Would it be some get back?
Being that it's the playoffs, they probably won't.
Not promoting violence. We're not promoting violence. So.
But if it were me, I don't have all the sense in the world. I probably would at least throw at him.
I think he may get thrown tonight. Honestly,
that would be surprising. But they
may do it in a slick manner, but he may get hit tonight. I think.
Yeah, you don't condone violence, and baseball with all these unwritten rules. But
right.
That play.
And that's an unwritten rule, though.
Yeah, that play
that's one of the unwritten rules. You don't go home, make a home run, and then walk off like you big and bad. Next time up, they're gonna beam him.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to break up a double play. If you saw that play, that was a terrible.
That was deliberately done. I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to the Chicago-St. Louis series because it's pitchers versus hitters. And even though you got Michael Walker for St. Louis taking on Jake Arrieta for the Cubs, Arrieta, regular season was lights out. 22-6, 1.7 ERA, and he's going up against those hitters. You got Matt Carpenter, Jason Hayward. That's the game I want to see tonight for Game 3. This is his first time pitching in the series, so that should be a good one. That's definitely the one, but I'm going back to the Dodgers-Mets. I think the Dodgers will win that series for some reason, but the Chase Utley thing, I think everyone now is kind of looming like, when is this time going to come, and so forth.
Personally, man, I think he ought to be suspended for as long as the other guy. Probably the rest of the playoffs, because Tejada's not going to be able to play, and that slide was that was kind of crazy. So with the way that he went at him and took him out like that, and Tejada is out for the rest of the playoffs, right. He should be out for the rest of the playoffs.
That's very interesting. Very intriguing on that one. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit up the rest of the NFL, talk a little college football as well, right after this quick message.
How far would you go to help someone? Would you go to the end of your driveway? Would you cross a street? Would you cross an ocean? To a place 6,000 miles from home? And how long would you go? Would you go for a week? A month? A year? Would you go for 2 years? Would you go if you could use your knowledge to teach someone, and in the process, maybe learn something yourself? Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps.
Welcome back, folks. We're here. Now we're talking some NFL this week. A lot of games, a lot of heavy action. I'm talking about overtime games this week, let alone the skins. You had Cincinnati, Seattle. We got to discuss this. Cincinnati was down 24-7. Seattle had a big lead, and they let it get away. Andy Dalton went off, man. 30 for 44 with 331 yards, 2 TD passes. Your take on that game?
That's a big game. I've given Cincinnati the blues.
Right, they proved it with that win.
Saying I want to see what they do in the playoffs, but this is one of those wins where they are kind of showing to you every week, that we kind of a different team this year.
Granted, that win was no Marshawn Lynch. Either way, when you come back down 24-7 and you pull that off, and then even the way they did it, if you remember the last play before they went to overtime, Andy Dalton gets sacked by a defensive lineman. And the lineman, how do you not fall on the guy and just stay there and lay on him? You allow them to get time to come up, and they get an extra point, get a field goal with no timeout. They're kicking it on the one, like set, go, boom, kick, up and good. If you're a defensive lineman, you got to lay on the quarterback and take off a couple more seconds. Switching over, out of the undefeated mobs, you had New England winning, Green Bay winning, Denver winning. Carolina didn't play. We already discussed Atlanta. Who impressed you the most out of those yesterday? I mean, Denver won barely. Dallas blew out. I mean, Dallas got blown up by the Patriots, and then the Packers. They didn't look all that great against the Rams, but they won.
Still got to go with the Patriots, even though they were playing Dallas without Romo and Dez. It's still the Patriots because they did what you do when you're playing a team that's without their stars.
Yeah, they blasted them.
Green Bay, they won. They looked like they kind of had a tough time, which I thought
Rodgers
they
had
would.
2 interceptions. I mean, they played good D in the Rams. We said it last week. They played good D. We did say that.
Denver didn't score. Peyton didn't score, throw a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken.
They're winning on defense.
So that defense is coming through for them, but I think it's a matter of time before they get someone catches.
I mean, Chris Harris ran that thing back on a slant, and it was that they were already up. That put them up 16-7. I mean, a late field goal by Janikowski trying to make it close, but well, let's ask you this. Let's get your top 5 teams in the NFL right now. Now, granted, remember, we got 6 teams undefeated. But that don't mean all 6 gonna make the top 5.
Yeah,
you may throw a sleep right now, for all we know.
All 6 may not make it. I'm gonna start with the Patriots. I mean, until they lose.
I was gonna tell you to go from 1 to 5, and go from 5 up. But that's fine. You can
we
go with
5 up. That 5 can probably hold a few teams, man. Carolina.
I want you to pick one though.
The Falcons. I mean, I can't.
One.
Number 5, maybe I would say Carolina.
Okay, he's got Carolina.
I'm not. I still got to see Carolina play somebody tough, but
that's this week. We'll see this week, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll see this week.
The 4th spot, I'm throwing in Arizona.
Whoa.
Yeah, Arizona's rolling.
The 4-1 Cardinals, ladies and gentlemen.
They're rolling right now. Their loss was to.
I didn't expect that.
To a Rams team that plays their division tough, but the Cardinals are rolling.
They are balling. I ain't gonna lie to you. They rolling. They balling.
After that,
So he's got Carolina, Arizona at the 4. I mean, who you got at 3, 2, and 1? I guess I'm assuming New England at 1.
New England's at 1. I guess I'm gonna go with the Bengals number 2 because they are playing good ball. They're winning games. They're coming. They're overcoming deficits. That's almost 2 weeks in a row. I believe the week before they had a back and forth affair with the Ravens.
Well, if you're going with that, then I gotta assume you got Atlanta at number 3. They won out of their 5 games. They came back in 4 wins.
Coming from what I saw, I mean, they impressed me against Dallas, but then what I saw yesterday, I'm not quite sure what the Skins are, who they are just yet. So I don't know.
They're a gritty team.
They are a gritty team. I don't know if it was a matter of the Falcons playing down to the competition or the fact that they just aren't that strong.
So Green Bay.
All of their games have been against the NFC East. So they're the NFC East champion.
So Green Bay, I think, is your 3rd team.
Yeah.
Okay, Green Bay. So you got Carolina, Arizona, Green Bay, Cincinnati, and Patriots number 1.
And I almost would put Arizona 3 in front of Green Bay.
You mean wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't have that in my top 5. My top 5, folks, I have Denver at number 5. Defense, you cannot go wrong with that. Atlanta at number 4. They've come back. So I'm like cardiac kids right now. They've come back to get wins. I respect that. That means they're clutch. Number 3, I have Cincinnati because they beat a good team. They beat Seattle, and they did that in a comeback fashion. Number 2, I have Green Bay for the Aaron Rodgers factor. And number 1, I'm still going with the Patriots for the Tom Brady factor. But this week's games could shake up a few things. It could be some losses coming. But I'm surprised that Arizona picked from you. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a strong believer in Carson Palmer. I know if he goes,
he can do it.
Yeah,
he still can do it.
If Palmer goes
Playoffs
down, then that's a
story,
wrap for Arizona.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I like Bruce Arians, man. I kind of wish he was our coach. They have a strong defense, and they're rolling. Other than the Patriots, they look in the Bengals. I'm going to give the Bengals their due.
Okay.
But they look to be, the team that's really rolling and got it all going.
All right, let's downshift a bit down to the college level. This past weekend, you had Phil. First off, big news that just happened today out of USC. They fired their coach, Sarkisian. He was fired. He had an abuse problem with alcohol abuse. You really can't have that. So that's a good job open for somebody that's going to get that. I'm not sure who's going to get it, but that's a good job at USC if you can run it. Then you have news out of Florida that their quarterback Will Greer is now suspended for 1 year with PED use. That's going to definitely affect them the rest of the year. Still undefeated. But this past weekend, when you had some Ohio State, they struggled with Maryland for a little bit. They pulled off in the end. Michigan destroyed Northwestern. What was that? Clemson looked good. I mean, they beat Georgia Tech, but they still ran through. And Texas, in a regular shootout, they beat Oklahoma. Charlie Strong got a win. We had to show him some love because he's been taking a pure beating in the media. That's a good one. This past weekend, what was your take on what impressed you? What shocked you?
I'm definitely shocked with that Texas outcome.
Yeah,
that was something I did not expect. But, that means his players shows that his players believe in him. They went out and fought hard for him in a game that I'm sure they probably didn't give themselves a chance to win. Ohio State, they're kind of on that Florida State track from last year, where you're living off the fact that you're the defending champ. So you're staying number one, but you're not really playing good ball. Michigan, that outcome I didn't expect either. We'll see what happens coming this game against Michigan State. To see that's going to be another barometer game for me in terms of Michigan.
I agree with that. We're going to definitely, matter of fact, we're going to run our top 5 in college football. We'll say that to the end. We'll save that to see how that plays out. I want to get your take on that because I'm with you on that. I mean, the Michigan State game, which we're going to discuss when we come back from this quick break, is going to be a big, huge game. Got a couple of huge games in the college scene. Like I said, I'm just stunned at this news off the wire, the Circassian environment for USC. Now you got to find out who's going to coach the guys. That's going to be huge. And then with Florida, with Will Greer being out, that's a big loss for the team. How they going to affect them in their big game against LSU? That's huge, and that's big news there. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss our picks. We'll run our numbers down. We'll compare how Shaka's been doing, how I'm doing, and we'll pick some games from the college level to the pro level after this quick message.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really?
That was a confidence builder.
My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'll show you this dance.
Yeah. In la keg, a la king.
The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave.
I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience.
All right, folks, we're back. We're going to run some games down. The college scene this weekend has some huge action. Ranked games, we've got 4 of them, big ones. We'll start off first. Number 18, UCLA, taking on number 15, Stanford. They're both in the Pac-12. Big-time action. Stanford's favored by 6.5. Who do you like? They're both 4-1.
Stanford is one of those teams that kind of move through the mud and slow build sort of thing.
But it's tough to beat them.
It is.
You got to show some heart to beat Stanford, man.
You really do. I'm not quite sure what UCLA is all about. They
Pretty
had them,
flashy, throw the ball, pretty
they
boy
had them
style.
ranked high,
Beach
early in the
Boys.
year. But I don't know if they have the toughness.
They got a high-prize quarterback,
Yeah.
a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
He can throw the rock.
I don't know if they have the toughness to deal with Stanford, even though I'm not sure.
So you
how
like
good
Stanford.
is.
Before we go any further, I meant to say this beforehand. Our picks right now, Shaka's 8-6 with his picks. I'm 10-3. 10-4 with my picks. And so for now, he's taking Stanford. I'm going to go ahead and take UCLA, even though what he just said makes total sense. I mean, Stanford, you got to come with it. You got to show a lot of heart against them. But I'm going to go ahead and take my chances on UCLA on the road for once, see if they're really as tough as they are. Going down south, we're going with Alabama at 5-1, taking on Texas A&M at 5-0, 10 versus 9. Big game in the SEC.
And see, these rankings are so.
Yes, they are.
It's just
SEC
like they
bias.
just randomly ranking teams because they have to rank somebody. Texas A&M was the hot team, was it last year?
Yeah, with Dak. Yeah, your man Dak.
But, they seem to have faltered. They're undefeated now.
12th man. They tough at home, the 12th man.
Yeah, as much as I'm not a believer in Alabama, I still think,
They tough.
they're more legit than Texas A&M.
I'm going to do this again. I picked against them last time, and they wore out. They wore out Georgia. I'm going to take my chances with the 12th man and say my man quarterback Dak is going to get it done. I'm taking Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M at home. And this game over up north in the Big Ten, where it's gritty and grimy, 7 Michigan State taking on number 12 Michigan in a battle of Michigan right now. Who you like? Michigan looking real impressive. Michigan State kind of struggled last week. They gonna be ready for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is a test game. This is gonna show, because Michigan State's supposed to be so good, this is gonna give us an idea of how legit Michigan is. 3 straight shutouts against teams that, other than Northwestern, we're not really sure how.
Because remember, this is crazy. At the beginning of the year, they were ranked at number 2.
Right.
And now they're at number 7 just off the eye test. That's the crazy part.
They haven't looked strong this year. And, that's what's high. You can see with these rankings in this top 4 in this playoffs that eye test is coming into play. The game is in the Big House.
Yes.
And growing up a Michigan fan, I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan this week.
Okay. I'm going to ride with Michigan, too. I like what they're saying. They're at home. If Michigan wins this, I'm going to say, yeah, they ready to take on whoever. They can pull this off.
Yeah, I'd be more willing to say they're legit.
Back down in the SEC, Florida travels down to the other Death Valley, LSU. Number 8, Florida against LSU, 5-0, Florida 6-0. Both teams undefeated, but we just mentioned earlier, Will Greer's gone for a year. So backup quarterback, next man up, must step in to get it done. I don't even know the young man's name, but he's going to be on Front Street now, taking on Lynn Fournette.
Yeah, this one here, with Florida losing their quarterback, I'm not really a strong believer in Florida, even though they're looking good. With them losing their starting quarterback, I don't know how they're going to bounce back with that short of a turnaround going against LSU at home, which we know is always a tough place
Les
to play.
Miles going to have his team ready.
You got Herschel
They're
Walker.
going to run the ball.
You got Herschel Walker Jr. doing what he's doing right now. So even though I don't think LSU can throw the ball.
You don't trust the Florida speed making up for that?
We're not in Florida anymore. I know our folks down in the Sunshine State may not like that.
They're going to like that on the FB page. They're going to comment on that page.
We're not in Florida anymore. I'm gonna go with LSU because that Herschel Walker Jr. is doing this thing and they're at home.
I've been picking Florida with these picks, but I'm gonna go against them this week. I like LSU at home, man. I mean, even though I think Florida's gonna stack the line with about 8-9 guys there and prove they can throw, I think it'll be a manhood issue.
Yeah.
And Fournette will show that he's a man.
Yeah.
I like them. Moving over, NFL style, we got some huge games. We go with the Skins against Jets first. Skins traveling up to New Jersey, I should say, and taking on the Jets. Jets are 3-1. Big game there. Who you like?
It's a toss-up. I mean, with Kirk at the helm, man, I don't want to look like a Kirk hater, but I just don't believe in him.
You sound like a Kirk hater.
He doesn't instill any confidence in me that he can help this team win. The Jets have a strong defense. They got Todd Bowles, former Redskin over there.
They are sicing Kirk. They saying Kirk drug you down for the field goal to get you that kick. Granted, he blew the jump.
Yeah, I mean, anything that happened before the intercept for the pick six to lose the game is irrelevant.
Got to be clutch. You're right. Got to be clutch.
I mean,
who's gonna guard Brandon Marshall?
Well,
Even though y'all did a good job on
yeah,
Julio
that's
Jones.
the thing.
Y'all strapped Julio. I give you that.
And Brandon Marshall's good, but he's no Julio. But I did just hear today that my man Breland has a rotator cuff or something like that.
I did hear that too.
So we're not sure if he's gonna play, but
So who you taking?
I don't. I tell you what, I hate the Jets' offense even more than I hate Kirk.
That offense just has no imagination at all. It has no imagination.
And I'm thinking, that's going to be another one of those what we call scrub games where there may not be a whole lot of offense going on. But home team, I'm going to take the Skins on this one.
Okay. I like the the Jets, I think the Jets may pull it out. How, I do not know. Because their offense, there's no imagination there. There's nothing happening. You know what? Take that back. I'm taking the Skins. I think the Skins are playing well enough. They can probably go up there and get a win. I'm going to try my hand with Kirk Cousins. I mean, he looked pretty decent last week, that dink and dunk offense. I'm going to take the Skins. This game here, the Cards and the Steelers. You got the Cards as a top 5 team. And I don't doubt that. They're a good mob. Steelers tough. They got our boy Mike Vick at the helm. Who you like?
I'm going to go with the Cardinals here. I mean, like I said, they're rolling. And Pittsburgh plays tough. But I don't think Pittsburgh can put up the numbers to match what the Cardinals do on offense.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go opposite of you in this one. Steelers at home, Heinz Field. It's going to probably be, next week it's October. Pittsburgh may be a little windier, maybe a little colder. They're going to run that football. I'm taking the Steelers, and I think that'll be Mike Vick's third start. I think by that point he'll have the offense down. I'm taking the Steelers, and I like the Cardinals, but the Cardinals have a good secondary, so they're going to be watching everything Vick throws, but it's going to be a heavy dose of the run game with Lacey, I believe. This game here may be the game of the day in terms of for what the magnitude of it is. The Panthers 4-0 against the Seahawks. They're going out west, and Seattle needs a win. Panthers 4-0. This game is another game that can show, are you legit? We just got one last week from Cincinnati against Seattle to prove we got their stamps and they're legit. Will Seattle allow another team to come in and say, we're legit, buddy, this is what it is?
Well, this is one of those games. And these two teams have played a few times over the last couple of years, and it's always a fight. Because I've watched just to see how Carolina will stack up against Seattle. And Carolina doesn't back down at all.
They sure don't.
Now, neither one of these teams are going to wow you with a whole lot of offense, especially if Lynch isn't back yet for this game. But I'm going with my birthday's sake, Cam and the boys. I hate to go against Russ. You know me and the QBs, I like those. But I'm going to go with my man Cam on this one, and this will be the test for Carolina to show that they're a little bit more.
I'm going to go opposite against you again. And I've been pulling for Cam for a while, but I'm going to take Seattle. Reason being, they know this is a make-or-break game. Well, not really make-or-break. They're only 2-3, but they need this win here.
Yeah.
This is a statement game against the big teams, and they don't want to have back-to-back weeks, especially last week after being up 24-7 and to lose. Even without Lynch, I think they're going to win. I think the defense is going to hold it steady and make it a little tough for Cam. Cam probably will play well. I like Seattle in a real close game.
And it is a game that they definitely need, but
I mean, it's what it's going to be. Deflategate, and we're going to Patriots 4-0. Colts struggling at 3-2. Colts won a big game on a Thursday nighter. We're not sure that if Andrew Luck will be back, but I know if you're Peyton Manning and the Patriots, they had to mark this game on their calendar just because of what the magnitude of what it's been all year long. For a whole year, they've been suspicious of them having footballs have been deflated. Your take?
This game seems to have lost some of the luster, though. With the Colts not coming out like everybody had the Colts. A lot of people had the Colts picked to go to the AFC title game.
I was not one of them folks. Not me.
So, they're coming out struggling. We don't know if Luck is going to play, even though Hasselbeck, I've heard some rumblings where he's playing even better than what Luck was
Luck
playing
right now is struggling.
Before he got hurt.
Luck is having a terrible year so far. But the new golden boy, as I like to call him, he can play. I'll take Luck right now. Look, on my mob, give me any one of these quarterbacks right now with my team. That's a whole other story. But I think I'm still picking the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots.
I don't think the Seattle. I don't think Indianapolis has enough right now. I don't think they have enough to get it done.
No, like I said, it lost some of the luster. It'd be different if the Colts were playing, to the same level of the Patriots, or even how they played last year. Then that would be more of an exciting game. I know the Deflategate thing kind of adds something to it, but it's not as intriguing as it was, as we thought when this game came out.
I can dig it. Folks, we can ready to come back. We're going to shut it down. We're going to have take a couple of emails and so forth. We'll be back right back at you.
When I grow up, I want to be a psychologist or a therapist.
I want to be a pediatrician.
I was hoping to become a chef someday.
I want to own a big house with the convertible and the jacuzzi and the pool, all the good stuff.
Role models, they don't tell you what to do, but they help you to go where you're going.
I want to study law. I don't want to become a lawyer. I want to become a CIA agent.
Young people, I think, do need a mentor because, we don't know everything. And, all the people, they've experienced stuff that we haven't.
I would like to be a baseball player.
As long as there's somebody behind you, pushing you and supporting you, then you feel that you always have the strength to keep going.
Well, I would like to become like a doctor. That's my first choice.
Sometimes you feel down and you feel that no one really understands and no one knows like where you're coming from, and it's great to see someone who's been where you are now and making it.
So get involved and do your part. Invest in the future. Mentor a child.
Folks, welcome back. This email comes from Jerome out of Mount Rainier. Folks out there checking us out. It says, I feel that this game coming up is where the Broncos will get their first loss. Go Browns. Do you all feel the same way? He says, go Browns. Your take on that game? I mean, Denver has been struggling with their defense is strong, and the Browns had a huge game last week. I mean, Jake McNown put up numbers. I mean, he was 457 on passing yards.
After I saw that yesterday, I'm not going to just totally discount the Browns. And I'm not a believer in Peyton right now. The Father Time is on his way on him. Even though their defense is strong, I'm going to go with an upset and say Cleveland is going to take that one.
I'm going against you again. I'm going to tell you why. Peyton is not going to struggle every single week. He's not going to struggle week after week after week. At some point, we're going to see Peyton come back to life and make it happen. This is the week right here, and it won't be no shootout. Denver's D is going to strap. Jake Manone will probably get a touchdown in, so Peyton, you heard it first, will have 2 or 3 touchdown passes. That's my prediction on that one. Folks, we got to get some love. The District Heights Boys and Girls Club continues to impress. As this past weekend, they had their homecoming, and every team won as they mauled squads up and down the field. The 6U, the 8U, the 10U, and the 12U continues. The 12U right now has not allowed a team to score at all year long. This week, they've got some big-time action, and coming up, they got a double. Got a game on Saturday, they got a game on Sunday. Big games. So look out for those boys. They're both on the road, and they come back here on the 24th for their home games. Folks, it's been a great show. Check out for our picks. We're going to come back to you next week. Keep looking. The show comes on Comcast 7125 for Verizon. Check for us, and we'll see you again next week.